white woman says Europeans are going extinct, and she don't give a. That's what she said. And honestly, it does sound pretty messed up, as she is a white woman, right? And I'll have to say this: to be honest, right? White people are actually not going extinct. They're being upgraded. They're not going anywhere. Their genetic code is not going anywhere. The white skin, the white aesthetic, the whole white thing, that whole European thing, in the grand scheme of history, it's just a genetic mutation that's run its course. So Europeans' genetic mutation of that pale skin and certain features to deal with the cold weather is just run its course. It's no longer viable for human survival. And that's just the truth in nature. It happens all the time in different animals, right? So what's happening, white people themselves are human beings. Obviously, they can procreate with everybody else. We're all the same species. We're just different variants of it, right? As you guys, white people are an amalgamation of different hominids and Neanderthals and Denisovans and various different human, cultures and beings who created and manifested and mixed over, a long period of time, just like everybody else, right? And the mixing still continues, right? Like if you look at Africans, you look at our phenotypes, anybody knows anything about history, anthropology, anything like that, you would know that the reason why we have different phenotypes and these things that we call races, which technically, if there were ever races, there would be 5 races in Africa and 1 race outside of Africa, which is the Eurasian. The Eurasian is one thing, right? White people are just round-eyed Asians, right? But everybody out inside of Africa, the different phenotypes and the different genetic codes and variants would mean that if we were to actually classify real races, the only real races would be in Africa, 5 races, and everybody outside of Africa is just a Costco-sized sample of one of those African races that have mutated outside of Africa, through migration, right? So white people themselves are not going anywhere. They're being refolded into the human body. They're being given things necessary for them to survive in the future, But as far as some of the white supremacists are concerned, who are really married to this race thing, because remember, they made this race thing up. The reason why we treated them the way we treated them when we first encountered them, right? In the Egyptian days, in those days, right? And then the second time in the West African days, right? It's because we viewed them as human beings like us, even though they were, of different color, right? But the fact remained, they were definitely much different because their genetic codes, probably more than likely, I don't know because I'm not an anthropologist, but their genes and their characteristics are coming from a different hominid, right? That damn Neanderthal is probably a very aggressive creature, right? And acts and maybe a warlike creature, right? And they have that genetic code in them. Therefore, that's why they probably act like that, right? Right? I can make I can guesstimate that might have something to do with it, right? But humanity is continuing to evolve. We haven't stopped. We're not at our final form, right? The final form is always going to be black, right? That's the thing about it. So despite the different colors, everybody's folding back to black. You see, black people, we don't have to worry about being, as Africans, we don't have to worry about being, genetically eliminated because we have the ultimate form. Our body frames, our systems are clearly superior to everybody else's. Clearly. Let's not play around there, right? Therefore, it's nature, right? And the biological need to improve oneself causes the white woman and various other women to go to what they deem as a superior mate in order to create a superior child for the future. That's what all animals do, literally, and we are animals. So that means that the black man is usually, because the black man doesn't display any weak characteristics like racism, right? Even though we do display weak characteristics in other ways, but racism, being jealous of another group of people because of their capabilities, that is a weak look. Therefore, your female would not be attracted to that weakness. They would be more attracted to the thing that is strong and being fought, that's being looked down upon by their own man, right? So if you got a woman and her whole biological makeup says, find the best mate that give me the strongest child to have the best genetic code to survive the oncoming future which nature's, is bringing to us, right? So the logical conclusion is white women are out here having mixed babies in order to add melanin to their future descendants so they can survive the heat that's coming, so they can survive global warming, so they can survive the sun, right? And the UV rays. It makes logical sense, right? To go from being lacking in sufficient melanin to adding sufficient melanin. Hell, white people even in the science world, they're creating things to add melanin to their own skin. They know they need it. Therefore, they really shouldn't be afraid or think of it as they're going extinct. They should be thinking about it as they're getting the things they're jealous of. Like, that's the thing about it. Whether you're racist people are jealous of black people. Racist white men and women are jealous of black men and women because of what we have. But ultimately, right, their descendants, right, will be black. Therefore, ultimately, their family and the trajectory in which they're going, they will have all the things that they're jealous of. They will become the thing that intimidates them, right? And then you have the other side who are actively participating in adding premium genetic code to their offspring. They already got this mindset already. So both extreme camps of European society are going to get it either way. You're going to be black. Everybody's going to be black. All the Asians going to be black. They're going to get back to black. A lot of them Southern Asians look black anyway. A lot of them, right? They're on their way back. Everybody over time as humans, as the world gets smaller and smaller and we have more abilities to connect to each other and get around and travel, the dominant gene will have the ability to spread itself throughout the world the way it's been doing. And there's absolutely nothing human beings can do about it. It's just the way it works. And of course, we'll find, when everybody is pretty much the same brand, everybody got some melanin, we'll find other reasons to fight each other, right? Unless we advance that far in society, which we don't do that anymore. We'll see, right? And it's a great possibility, but white people are not really going extinct. The construct of whiteness, which was made up, is messing their heads up to make them believe they're going extinct. But in fact, they're not going anywhere. They'll be here, right? They'll be in the genetic code of every single black and brown person that exists in the near future and the far future. They'll be there somewhere, right? Anyway, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
I do not give a fuck if white people go extinct. And the reason why is because I'm not a white supremacist. I don't think that white skin is inherently better because I'm not a fucking idiot. I get so many messages like this, like, oh my God, like, you don't care about the white man. Like, white men are so oppressed and you don't care if we go extinct. I don't care. I don't care. I have dated people of all races. That has never been a factor for me. What is a factor is the person's vibe and personality. Most of the white men that I've encountered have been incredibly repulsive, racist, or disgusting, especially in small towns. It's not important to me to marry a white man to pass on my white genes. If I choose to have children and I have children with somebody with brown or black skin, the kid will still look like me. They will all share all of my same features. So honestly, I would probably be more upset about coffee going extinct than white people. I don't give a fuck. And it's not that I don't like the color of my skin. I love the way I look. I think I'm really cutie and I love my life. I don't take pride in being white. There is a difference between self-love and white supremacy. I'm not a white supremacist, period. There was a controversy about some of my content recently, so I would just like to take this as an opportunity to formally double down on exactly what the fuck I said the first time. Because a lot of conservatives have been trying to cancel me, which is so funny because I don't care what they think. Because they're like, it's so offensive of you to say that you don't care if whiteness goes extinct or if every single person on the planet is brown or black, you don't care. No, I don't care at all because I don't inherently think that whiteness is better than any other skin color. Does that mean that I want white people to be killed off? Absolutely not. I mean, you have to keep in mind my family is white. A lot of my childhood friends are white. I am white. Do I care if in 50 years every single person on this planet, except for a few of us, are brown or black? No, I don't. Because there is no inherently superior race. Blackness or brownness or whatever, it's all arbitrary. And so I don't care if as a quote race, white people go extinct because it will not affect the world in any capacity. Well, it actually might make things a bit better because white supremacy wouldn't exist if white people don't have the authority and numbers to reinforce a violent upper social class. Yeah, so I'm gonna double down. Goodbye!
You think we're just the first generation that woke up one day and said, hey, I don't want to go extinct? No. White people, white society, white men who care about their tribe, they've known that this is happening. And what happens? They get fooled. We're being fooled right now. Trump acts like he's pro-white. He acts like he's gonna be the law enforcement that's going to get all of these colored people out of our nation and protect white people. That is not true. More abortions are happening than ever. Less deportations than ever. More people from India, China, and Mexico are coming to our nation. More than ever. But now they're doing it legally. So that's okay because it's legal. But the effect is exactly the same. White people's numbers going down, other people's numbers going up. White civilization is falling. And the reason why is because we're getting brainwashed. Why are they trying to brainwash? Why are they manipulating us? Because they are not white. They are not Christian. And that is the center of all of our issues in the West right now. The people that are running the show hate Jesus Christ and hate white people. You need to get that through your head.
White people are cooked. Our race is going extinct. 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 In 50 years we will be extinct. There'll be basically no more white people ever. We've already crossed the point. Yeah, since the 70s, bear in mind we're in 2020s now, nearly 2030s, right, that we crossed the point of no return. We haven't been having enough babies for the last 50 years in this country. Germany's done. Germany's actually done. The German people will no longer exist in like 30 years or whatever. Like, they're done. They're done. They're done. Everything the Austrian painter said would happen, happened.
It's really sad to see the way that society has been brainwashed to believe all of these things, like as if it's not the meaning of life to start a family, to I feel like there's fulfillment that you get from having a family and raising kids that you can't get anywhere else, but it's also like your duty to the world to reproduce. Like, we're being outproduced as well, by the way.
We're being out what?
Outproduced by like immigrants within this country. Like, it's just like white people are gonna go extinct.
I mean, that's fucking one way to.
White people are way less encouraged to have children. It's true. Controversial take, but
No, listen, when you see it where you'll have like an immigrant family with fucking 8 kids, you don't see a lot of like
yeah.
people from this country with 8 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, 8's a lot.
One if you're lucky. I mean, I'm a little older. We're aiming for at least 3 to get above replacement levels. Hopefully, you know, you gotta do
he
out.
wants 4.
Yeah,
I want 8.
he wanted 8. Yeah. When we were dating, before we were dating, when we were just friends, he'd always say like, I want 8 kids. I can't wait to have 8 kids. I'm gonna have a massive family. And then we started dating. I'm a little bit older than him. I'm 30. And so we started dating. I was like, dude, you know, I probably can't give you 8 kids, right? He was like, okay, at least 3. We'll get married. We got married very quickly after we started dating. And
How quickly?
7, we dated for a month before he proposed. And then 7 months later, we eloped.
You proposed in a month.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
We were best friends for like a year and literally spent every single day together. Literally every single day together, 24/7.
So you guys, all right, that's a little different. That's
Yeah.
fair.
He friend zoned me. He friend zoned me 3 times.
Oh, he friend zoned you.
3 times. Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Strategy.
Oh, strategy. I got it. All right.
A guy like me getting a 10 like this?
Set the bar
Yeah,
low.
yeah.
Gotcha.
You
They
want
want what
you
they
don't
can't have.
Yeah,
Precisely.
apparently. And he came to inform me of this strategy later, but it's too late to be mad
And
about
now
it.
it hasn't taken the luster off.
No.
Now that you know, you've seen behind the candelabra.
I love him so much. He's my best friend in the whole world, and I can't wait. He's gonna be the best dad in the world. I can't wait to have babies with him.
That's awesome. You
Yeah.
gotta lead with the we were very good friends for like
Yeah.
a year, not the 3 weeks part. 'cause
Yeah,
people
yeah.
just think Vegas,
Well, they're crazy.
drugs, you
Yeah,
know.
no.
Yeah.
We work together, so our work environment was very stressful when we worked for this former network. We'd literally be there like
Is this valuetainment?
yeah, we'd be there a minimum of 9 hours a day. It was usually like 10, 11 hours per day. And then we go back to my house and work on my show. I had 2 shows on that network. So we would work on it together. We watch comedy together to try to alleviate a little bit of the stress. We're both big comedy fans. And I don't drive. I don't know how to drive. I've never learned. So he'd drive me everywhere. We're basically
Very
together like,
anti-feminist of you.
Base.
yeah, women do cause more car accidents, I will say. So I'm just doing my part, you know, doing my part. Okay.
Oh my god, that's
But yeah,
funny.
we literally spent nearly all of our time together. He'd fall asleep on my couch at like 2, 3 a.m. I'd have to wake him up, send him on his way. But
Oh, you sent him home.
Yeah.
Oh, you
He-
really
he-
were committed.
he-
You were committed to the bit.
He crashed out on the couch and like maybe slept there like a couple of times if I fell asleep beforehand.
I'm
but-
also very Christian, so I was saving myself for marriage.
Oh, that's what you were doing.
Yes, precisely. Yes.
Good for you, man. I haven't heard a story like that in a while.
yeah.
3 weeks. And how long after the proposal did you get married?
7 months.
7 months.
Yeah, we were wanting to do it within like 3 months, but then again, work was so hard.
You're still at Valuetainment then?
Yes.
Yeah, for
And
much
then,
of it.
And then we left and we were just on the road. We just have been doing trips like this. We're on our 4th week here on the road, going on different podcasts and all this stuff. And then finally we were in Vegas.
Oh, you did it in Vegas.
And we
for
got
real?
eloped in Vegas. And we
We were
had
there for like a month and we were like, dude, we want to get married. We want to do it. It's going to cost a lot of money. We're going to keep pushing it down the road.
No.
But yeah, so we're like, let's just do it.
Good for you.
Are white people going extinct because of Canadian immigration policies, or are people just going insane? Answer: Great Replacement Theory isn't real, you're being lied to, and it's really about the economy. So Great Replacement Theory, or GRT, is the belief that governments and the global elites are collaborating to pass policies and shape global events to replace white people. Firstly, why, right? And you know, I get it. If you believe in this, you probably don't want to hear this from me, you know, considering. But think about it for a second, what's the motive behind it? And it's inherently logical because this theory was concocted by the far right to take advantage of your problems and to push a false narrative on undeserving people. Why? To protect the people that pay them. As we talked about before, racism and xenophobia rise during unemployment spikes or recessions because of intergroup competition. So for example, during the 2020 recession, racism against Asians and immigrants rose as the economy worsened, which the far right used to push a false narrative that minorities were benefiting from the crisis due to woke corporate policies. These talking points kept growing and normalizing till a grand theory was concocted to expose this global conspiracy. People would claim that their nations were being invaded by hordes of immigrants sent in by global elites, tying in ideas of vote and job replacement and anti-Semitism. During its peak in 2022, a surprising 44% of Canadians had believed in this theory one way or another. That's crazy. But immigration policies were implemented to solve economic and demographic issues, not replace white people. Canada, like many developed nations, has an aging population that younger generations will have to pay higher taxes for, which a solid immigration base will help manage. While corporations wanted cheaper labor and governments wanted higher consumption rates, more businesses, and higher tax revenues. Our immigration policies aren't the result of this grand conspiracy, but really the government and corporations wanting to maximize economic growth and profit for themselves. And these same entities are trying to profit off of us as much as possible before this entire thing collapses, immigrants and citizens.
Give a fuck if white people go extinct.
Now imagine if you would say that about any other race. And they are still claiming that they are not the racist ones. They are the ones that are fighting racism in the United States. Imagine if a white person would say that about any other race. They would be ostracized. They would not be safe in the streets. We see t-shirts with black excellence. We see people and content creators advocating to support only black businesses. And that is okay. Why? Because we are not snowflakes and we are not crybabies. But then you have this. And when we bring it up, we are being told to shut up. We are being told that there's no anti-whiteness sentiment in the United States. We are told that white people are the only ones that can be racist. And this is not racism. This is totally okay and this is totally acceptable in our society. Hey, listen, if you want to support my work, link in bio for my online store, my merch store, my Substack, or you can just buy me a coffee.
I do not give a
People that are convinced that the Great Replacement Theory is a real thing are not people that are afraid of losing the phenotype. They're people that are afraid of losing the power that is associated with being white. This comment right here from Musk pointing out that the people of European descent used to make up 30% of the world population in the early 1900s. And then about 100 years later, they've seen a massive drop to like 9%, which, by the way, 9% is a little bit lowballed. It's probably somewhere like around 11 and 15% is proof. The reflection of whiteness in the early 1900s was a direct reflection of colonization of the British Empire. At this time, the British Empire had its hands in multiple different countries. So naturally, there was a rapid growth of population. I made a video about this before, that the pro-life movement, which is really truly just anti-choice, that was actually targeted to white women specifically. They did not have a problem if black women were getting abortions. They didn't want white women to do it because they were afraid of losing white people. And when you lose white people, you lose colonization, you lose power. I think it's ironic because the majority of what we consider to be white genes are recessive genes. Which means that even though you might carry the genotype for blue eyes, you might have a phenotype of brown eyes because the brown eye side of your family is a more dominant gene. And that's because blue eyes are a mutation. In fact, a lot of what are considered to be European genes are mutations, which means that they aren't as stable or as dominant. Which just proves, by the way, that white supremacy is a complete hoax. Because if they were the supreme race, their genes would not be mutations that are recessive genes. And also, is it our fault that white people just find us irresistible, that they can't just stop having kids with us, that they find Black and Asian and Hispanic and Native and Aborigine people to be beautiful? Like, is that our fault that they want to, like, have kids with us? They don't care about whiteness. They care about power, and they are terrified of losing the power and the privilege that comes with being white. Even though with 800 million people still existing on this planet who are of European descent, it's not like the last unicorn, okay, where there's going to be like one white child that's left and she's going to die in a harrowing scene in quicksand, and then that's going to be the end of the white line forever. It's not going to be like that.
We're a minority. Like, I am part of the minority. Is it time to save the West? See, white European account for roughly, depending on the source, between 7 and 14% of the world's population. It's an infinitely small minority. In most white Western country, the special status of minority is given to non-white residents, right? Indians, Chinese, Native Americans. Say a person from China that lives in Wales is considered a minority, yet there are over 1.1 billion Chinese nationals versus only 3 million Welsh in the entire fucking world. So in my eyes, isn't that the huge deception? The only countries, the only cultures that are told that we need to let people come in, and we need multiculturalism, we need diversity, and we ought to let minorities, which is such a psyop, right, in, are Western-led countries. But again, and in Canada, perhaps we are the majority, but in the entire world, and we are a globalist-led entity now to planet Earth.
Isn't it interesting how they tell you that people who look like me, that we're the majority? They call it white privilege. They tell you that your voice, your vote, your culture doesn't matter because you've had it too good for too long, right? But here's the truth. White people only make up 8% of the global population. 8%. That means that 92% of the world is non-white. And yet, you're painted as the oppressor. You're told that you've got the privilege and that you're part of the privileged class, when every other supposed minority gets priority treatment. You ever notice that? They're the ones who are granted special access to the educational system, to job placement, to government aid programs, and to just about everything else. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not asking for special treatment or special access, but don't shove this shit down my throat that somehow we're the privileged ones. The media, the school systems, the political figures, they've all been demonizing white people, especially white conservatives, for decades. And it's enough. We're done being told that we're the problem with the world when all we want is just to be left alone. We're done being told that we need to sit down. We need to shut up. We need to apologize for existing. That's not balance. That's not equity you guys were always talking about. That's gaslighting. That's the real racism. The establishment has lied to everyone. They've convinced you that white people are the global majority, when in reality, we're the minority. And now in America, white European Americans are about to become the minority in this nation. And if you're a white European American, well, your kids, they'll be the minority. Your grandkids, they'll be an even smaller minority. So ask yourself, why is the media trying to portray it as though we're taking over the world and that we're doing everything to oppress people? Why is the media doing that? Why do politicians cheer on the political violence and demonization of white people? Why is it only ever called progress when they're actively erasing white culture? Why is that progress? Simple answer is this: because if they convince you that you're the villain, they can strip you of your identity. And when people lose their identity, they lose their will to fight. But here's the thing, we're done apologizing. We're done pretending we don't see it. We're done letting our children and our grandchildren inherit a world where they're taught to hate who they are and where everyone else is taught to hate them. White people are the minority, and it's time to stop letting them tear us down. Black pride is celebrated. Asian pride is celebrated. Latin pride, all these cultures are celebrated. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your culture. They just villainized you to think that there was. We have a beautiful culture, and there's nothing wrong with being proud of that. There, I said it. Call me a racist, but you'll be wrong. I'm the furthest thing from a racist. The real racists are the ones who inherently hate white people because of the color of their fucking skin. There's nothing wrong with being proud of who you are as a person and the family and the heritage that you came from. And we do that by standing our ground with strength, with discipline, with an unbreakable commitment to preserve who we are. Because if we don't fight for it now, we won't have anything to fight for later.
Don't quit for it, nigga. You about to be where you need to be. You talking about some, maybe I should throw in the towel. No, funny. Don't ever quit. I keep going.
Ew. What is that? What is that? I don't know. What is that? That's okay. Oh, it's a goblin and it's nasty.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.